And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum for Thursday, March 30th. There are no more Thursdays in March in 2023. You ought to be warned. This has been a public service announcement. But anyway, we're going to be talking about comics. We're going to do some reviews. We got some news for you. And we're just going to have a whole lot of fun for the next couple hours. So stay tuned, will you? And if you're watching live, please leave us some comments. And if you're watching on the reruns, we love you too. Please leave us some comments down below. But we'll be back in about 1 minute.
Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw. Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Well, we dare a lot around here. I'm Brian K. Morris, author and former mortician's assistant, longtime comics fan, and we are back with another episode of Comic Book Spectrum. And the viewing room is filling up, so come on in, bring your questions and hopefully some answers. And we're going to bring in the 80% of the Fab Five here tonight, namely Joe D. McFee, Eric S. Hawkins, and Clyde Hall. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Honestly tired.
Yeah, Joe is preparing for his appearance this year at C2E2 this weekend at McCormick Place, where he is the guest of honor. They've not been billing him properly, but he is the guest of honor.
They have not been. You're correct. They have not been billing me properly, especially since I'm making my triumphant return after being gone for a year.
Yeah, see, there we go. See,
$400 for a photo op with Joe. Better get them up before they sell out.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Joe will have his autograph prices later on tonight during the show, and we're all looking forward to that.
Speaking
prepay because lines around the block.
Exactly, forming even as we speak.
Speaking of which, I might be tempted, like I stated before, on the other episodes, is like things are subject to be changed. I might be tempted to add that.
Ooh.
To the raffle.
You want to explain the raffle to everyone?
Oh, yes. The raffle that I'm referring to is that I'm planning to give away, and they already at the show here, Sensational She-Hulk #1, which is a 5.0 CGC graded book, a 9.4 She-Hulk #5 from the current series at a 9.4 CGC certified and graded, and a 9.8 She-Hulk #7, which is a Mr. Miracle Man variant cover, CGC graded at the show. And the only way you can get into this raffle is to purchase $25 or more at my booth, for the books that we normally create and everything here. And as I was tipping off to Eric in the very beginning, I might be tempted to add this 9.8, which is issue #1 of the current She-Hulk series, which is the first printing of it, because there is a second print. This is first printing, by the way.
Yeah. Now, how can you tell? Can you tell by the cover whether it's a first or second print? Is it on there, or is it a different color? Okay.
Down here, normally by the barcode number, it would be on black bar that says second printing on it.
Okay. Okay. Because I know they've in the past, was it New Mutants 87? They recolored the cover to differentiate it from the original. Not that anyone at QVC knows the difference. Right. I did watch that episode, so
I might be tempted to lose this one here because I got another 9.8 already. So this
Nice.
finally came in the mail not too long ago.
Excellent. So definitely, do you know what booth are you at? What's your number?
829.
829, folks. Booth 829 at C2E2 this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at McCormick Place in Chicago. Go see Joe first. Okay, and try, be
Can't miss
patient.
it. You walk in through the door, go down to 800 aisle, 829, right there towards the front.
There you go. Located for your convenience, and rib too. But anyway, good luck this weekend, Joe. Good luck to you, my man. All right. So we are going to start with the comments as we always do. And we just got a fresh one there. And here we go. First in the door is Carl Witzman. Woohoo! Be ready to ride right off the tracks with the CBS group. Okay, which one you leaked the script to him? Yeah. Cam, I was in here before you, but I accidentally hit the off button and had to reboot. Oh, you poor thing. And less than a minute or maybe more, and it's always more. Carl Lissy, glad to see you here tonight. And Carl mocks Lissy with his laughter. Yep, they were probably having a ball in the green room. I'm sorry, but this is not the green room. That's tomorrow night on Uncle Carl's Secret Humor page, which you can get to if you're a member of the page, because it's a secret group. Anyway, we just had a comment up already. Okay, maybe that was bad wording, says Carl. Everyone, and knowing them, yes, it is true. You can't say nothing around us. And Screamer is developing a center. Yeah, it's been happening. And Carl says it's happened on everyone's show. I've noticed that it's I thought it was my mouse at first, but a number of people are also having that same issue. So I'm only relieved that it's not just me and my incompetence. And Matthew Creek is here. Hello to you, Matthew. How's everything going? Glad to see you. And welcome to Matthew, says Carl. And Matthew asks, does anyone besides me use Story Origin to promote their book? I can't say I know about that. Brian's writing that down because he's always looking for stuff.
Don't know what it is.
Maybe I'll look it up while one of you guys are giving your review. How's that? I'll do the fact finding for you. So,
there you go.
That's the kind of guy I am. But anyway, thank you for that tip there. And I haven't heard of that, Matthew. Is it a service online? And Donna goes, hey, Matthew. And so we have caught up with the comments already. That was easy. And, we got one more. Lissy says, girls say hi, Papa.
Hi, Papa. Bye, Papa. Hey, girls.
There you go.
Nora, and Fiona.
And it's a service that allows you to share each other's mailing lists. I can't use it then, unfortunately, because I do have a mailing list. But part of what I tell everyone that gets on there is that I do not sell or trade or in any way exchange mailing lists. So
yeah, that's why I've promised my people to.
Yeah, and my people appreciate it. So,
and does that violate GDPR too, especially if you got people internationally?
I think only if you don't allow them a way to opt out of it. I think it's the key to it.
I think that's the reason why I prefer not to use services like what he just mentioned, because I don't think there's an opt out.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll look that up during a break here and see if I can find that opt-out page, because if it's something useful for the community, I think we all ought to share that. And thank you to Matthew for mentioning it. But we'll see what happens. So I guess we launch right into the reviews. Who would like to go first?
I could go first because I got nothing.
Thank you, Joe, for that. Anyway, who's next?
I've got a book I'll talk about real quick.
Okay, here we go. Take the screen.
So The Vineyard by Aftershock. I'd waited forever for this final issue to come out. And it finally came out. It was supposed to be out months ago, but I finally was able to get it to finish up the story because I really enjoyed the story. I mean, it was cool. It was very different from what I'm used to. And it wrapped up very nicely. So that's it. Good.
That was easy.
It was hard to remember everything that happened, but it had been so long. But so there's a vineyard, and there's the vine god who they have to make sacrifices to so they have a good harvest. And then the father had some kind of accident. He was in a wheelchair. So the son is taken up gathering people to have them sacrificed to the god, and he's killing people, taking them out to the altar in front of a tree, and all these nymphs, I guess, wood tree creatures come out and start making out with him and stuff while he's killing people. And so in this issue, the final issue, because this is wrapping up the whole story, this guy, the son's sister, yes, the son's sister, and her husband came out. Well, the husband heard some commotion, and he went down to see what was going on, and well, he's going to be the fourth sacrifice to complete the season's sacrifices until someone comes and rescues him, maybe, but they really don't. But the daughter confronts the wheelchair dad, and as the son and son-in-law are fighting and getting stabbed, then she beats up her wheelchair dad, getting ready to kill him, but the mom comes in and stops her. As the son, Dionysus, I think his name was Dionysus. Can't remember. I'm horrible at names anymore. Getting ready to stab the son-in-law. And then, man, a lot goes on before he stabs him. The mom comes in. The daughter drops the knife. But then the mother picks it up. And the mother kills the son before he can... Adonis, that's his name. Dionysus is the god, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the mother kills the son, but the son was already dead, so it didn't matter. But apparently the son-in-law, or the son died before the son-in-law could, so he's the one who gets dragged off by the tree.
This sounds like a Drudic Maury Povich show.
And for some reason, and I don't know why, and I hope the author gets back to this. Maybe he'll do something else. But the mom didn't kill the father. He's back up in his wheelchair looking out the window at his dead son-in-law and daughter.
Yeah.
And wife. Yeah. But, I mean, she should have killed him. So for that, I'm taking a point off. Since this is the final issue, overall, the series was 7.5.
Oh, okay.
This issue, I'm going to give a 6.5 because that pissed me off. Because it's the last issue. It's over. I mean, you had some... They cleaned everything up, except, they should have killed someone else, and maybe the son-in-law should have lived. But he's dead. She's crying. The cranky old man is up in the window, back in his wheelchair. I don't know how he got back up in there. Maybe the mom just picked him up and put him in the wheelchair instead of stabbing him.
So a point off because Ironside survived.
Yes. Exactly. And I didn't break out my toys for the Mandalorian recap.
Well, wait, no Mandalorian theater?
Hold on.
I believe it.
Hold on. Oh, has everybody seen? Does anyone watch Bad Batch?
No, I don't watch any TV, so.
Oh, okay. Hold on here.
So I rely on these.
We'll do a Bad Batch recap for the series finale or season finale. This is one of the characters.
Oh,
it was. If you don't watch
like a bad comic review. Look at that.
If you don't watch Bad Batch, I do recommend it. It's a cartoon, yes, I know, but the story is very in-depth and heartbreaking sometimes. And these final 2 episodes that aired yesterday were sad.
Oh.
So this guy shows his face again, and you think he's going to be a dick, but nah.
Oh.
He turned out to help out Din Djarin.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this man I trust. We don't get along, but this is the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know Clyde's watching Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the pirate captain's, I guess, first mate, I can't remember his name.
The Ugnaught, you mean, or the
No,
other
not
guy
the
that got
Ugnaught.
escaped? Okay, the one that escaped.
Now, the first time I saw him in episode 1, and this time as well,
Mm-hmm.
I had to go look up to see if this actor was dead because I kind of figured he wasn't. It couldn't be. But he gave me so much. He made me think so much of Roddy McDowall in Planet of the Apes because the eyes and the way the mouth moved on that mask.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I know Roddy McDowall's dead. That can't be him. He's too old to be playing that.
Right.
It looks, I mean, just the way the mouth was moving reminded me of Planet of the Apes.
Like Cornelius's appliance, yeah.
And the eyes, I was like, wow, I wonder if that's potential. And no one's ever mentioned on any of the shows I've watched, which aggravates me.
Mm-hmm.
But Mandalorian was a great show again. Don't know what's going on there, but we'll figure
Pretty
it out.
exciting. Pretty exciting.
Now, is this the episode with Ahmet Best in it?
No, that was last week.
Oh, well, last week I was going to say you could, if you had a Jar Jar Binks action
Jar
figure
Jar. I was going to try to make a custom
the only one.
Ahmad Best, but I'd have to go find another Mace Windu, and he was hard to find. I do have Mace Windu, and then I'd have to find a head sculpt or do it myself. So I took Jar Jar because I do have a Jar Jar. I put him on my Mandalorian shelf and put a baby Grogu in his arm. Like, this is close enough.
Way to pay homage.
I told a friend, this is as far as I'm going with the customization because my last one just sucked. I tried to do Doc, but from G.I. Joe, it just turned out horrible. It's really bad.
Wow.
You know, I took every piece apart on this figure. So, you know, it's a 6-inch figure. I have to heat it up in water and pull apart every part, all the pins and everything to paint it.
Yeah.
Then I sealed it, and it looked, the paint looked great. Paint looked great.
Uh-huh.
So I was putting them back together, and the paint kept rubbing off.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I still put them on one of my 3 G.I. Joe shelves, but I need to print a helmet for them and stuff. Oh, and speaking of 3D printing, so I'm launching my campaign on April 21st, and then April 22nd, I'll be at SalukiCon.
Yay.
I 3D printed this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it worked.
Yay!
So I'm going to put that on my table. Say, hey, scan me if you want to issue 5. You can buy 1 through 4 here.
Oh, clever boy.
Hey, that's all I got. You know.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's get back to the comments here. Matthew says about Story Origin, you can get new signs from the mailing list if you give one story away and get reviews. Oh, God, if only we could get reviewers. And you can give advanced reader copies away, too. And comments on your review, making out while he's killing people, I'd be afraid he'd mess up and kill me.
Well, you know, the tree things are all rubbing on him and stuff. And one of the issues, they stuck their, I guess, branch hands down his pants. And he's like, oh.
That wouldn't be quite the moaning I'd be giving, but...
Well, maybe it's one of these smooth trees. I don't know.
Not extra sap to rub it, keep
not the rough
down, right?
bark. Yeah, he got sucked in because I think he was getting off on it more so than the father. Well, we never got to see the father do the killing every year because by the time the series started, he was already in the wheelchair. Maybe he had some serious issues too.
And then the thorn trees showed up.
That's a rose bush.
The splinters will kill you every time. Oh, and Carl says too much action for me on that comic. Yeah, action apparently is what that comic's about. And then Matthew has a very good question I think we can explore here for a moment. Know any other ways to market a book? Now, you know, especially, you know, our friends on the bottom tier here are experts at it because, well, you do like Kickstarters and such. You know, I will start with, you know, you go anywhere and any place you can to get your message out. And don't be shy about it.
No, be a whore. Be a promotion whore. And Matthew, I see someone in the chat there I know knows how to promote a book. Herman P. Hunter down there. He reach out to him. He's been doing pretty well with his past 2 books.
Yeah, very cool. Well, so has Eric, and Joe has done well on Kickstarter with his. Pretty well, right? Well enough? Yeah.
I've done okay. I mean, it's been better than I expected originally. So, but it's not growing as fast as I'd like it. So we'll see what issue 5 does. I mean, I want to break 10K and 200 backers, even though it's going to kill me in fulfillment. But I still want to break 200 backers. I mean, the most I had, I think, was 186. So I want to break 200, and I want to break 10K for this campaign without doing booby covers.
Right.
Yeah, save those for me.
But if I got to do booby, no, I'm not doing booby covers, except the ones I draw and don't print and send to Brian.
As my payment to be his editor.
Why have you done topless covers on all of the male members of the Wonderful World of Oz? This isn't what the public wants.
Well, there is, but that's not what keeps me on board. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have anything to add to this?
Not really, because, well, my sentiment is this: put yourself out there, because everything goes in steps. And the first step is people got to get to know you. They will never get to know your product or book before they get to know you. Once they get to know you, then they start looking at the product. So if that, following that logic, the best way I would say market you first. And then as you're marketing yourself, mention the titles, mention the books, mention the product. Because once they start seeing you and start liking you and liking what you're putting out there, then now you can say, oh, by the way, issue, in my case, issue number 8 of Amazonia is about to get ready to come out. I don't have to tell them who I am anymore. They know, boom, Amazonia 8 is this series, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. And I'll also add to that, like what we're doing right now, broadcasting is a very powerful way for people to get to know you, like Joe said. And I've said for a long time that if people like you, they'll support you, whether they're into what you do or not. You're always going to get that segment.
And also join in on the comments. People get to know you in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And see, you already did that. And Carl Wisman replies, Matthew, tomorrow morning's the show on Nicholas Tockert's YouTube channel where you can post links and talk to authors, artists, etc. And there is the link tomorrow to Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Nick Tockert's channel. So please check it out. Nick's a great host. So you definitely want to do that. Also get in touch with people like Nita Lanning and Pops Van Zandt and Luke Stone. They run a number of shows that have creators on, particularly last weekend of every month. Pops Van Zandt has what he calls CromCon, which is an all weekend long promotion fest. And also I would say what you're doing now is also a valuable thing, networking. Get people to cross promote your stuff. Like if, for instance, if Joe publishes something on his Facebook page and I see it, I copy it onto my page. If Eric does the same, I copy it onto my page. It makes my page look good because, I know all these people, so I must be hip and cool. But by the same token, it also extends their reach, and they would also do the same for me. So, you build your network of people who will support you. And, you notice that we haven't said a thing about money yet. This is all, and it all takes time. It starts with building relationships, which you're starting to do. We hope you'll come back and keep joining in the conversation. But this is, what these guys said is true. Put yourself out there. You're putting your work out there. Now, remember, you are as much a commodity as what you're producing. So, you're not only selling your book, you're selling yourself. And so, just, get out there and get your face known, get on some shows and have fun with it. That's the thing. Have fun with it. So, and good luck and keep us posted. All right. And Matthew's like me, hasn't watched anything exceptional since season 1 of Wednesday. I haven't watched anything since season 5 of Jerry Springer. What?
Dukes of Hazzard?
Dukes of Hazzard, yeah. My Mother the Car. And I've already signed up to be notified when you go for it. Excellent, Donna. Very cool, Eric. Very cool. Yes, that's right. Please go to Eric's Kickstarter and sign up that you want to be notified as of. There we go. Scan that thing. I may have to send you some stuff and see if you'll make one for me. But definitely go and sign up, because the thing is, it does not financially obligate you to support it, which you should anyway. But
Yes,
what
you
it does.
should.
But what it does is it helps the algorithms and gives Eric a little more oomph in his promotion on the platform. So,
That reminds me, I haven't looked at it today. We were at 77 the other day.
Oh, nice. And I want to put out a shout out for my friend Morgan S. Comnick, Comnick, who's trying to crowdfund her latest audio book. And so check it out. I'm currently playing the first one. It's really good. So
yeah, she's got her pre-launch page up, and she's launching next month.
Yeah, about the same time. Which, by the way, Eric, I'm saying this publicly. I want to talk to you and Morgan about a clever title pending around that time.
How in the world do I lose people following my page?
Oh no!
How do you, Eric? What's the secret?
Well, I got 75. Okay,
Okay.
maybe it was 75. I thought it was more, or 70. I thought it was 77.
Well, don't confuse that.
What
with
happens
my
when you
age.
get old?
Yeah, it's the second thing to go, so I hear.
Because
Anyway,
it was 69 the other day.
Anyway, I'm such an infant. Anyway, Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge, says, who let Eric on?
Herman P. Hunter, author of The Wizard Stone, now available on Amazon. And you could see his book was the subject of our drawing competition last week.
Oh, that's
And you
right.
could see what I drew and download it as a wallpaper on my Patreon.
Very cool. It's a beautiful illustration, too.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's
But
a lot of good ones.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. But we're favorably predisposed towards you. So,
Of course.
yeah, of course. But anyway, Herman, thank you for being here. Welcome. Always glad to have a fellow author on. And Don Dudas is here. Evening mwah to you. Glad you're here. Everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. And hi. And this man knows how to shill. I assume he's talking to you.
I think so.
Okay, good.
Or
and Carl
he
was-
might be talking about himself, because he knows how to shill.
Oh, I may have to take lessons. Anyway, I've been writing for more than 40 years, and some of my friends still say, "Oh, you wrote a book since Carl was fun." Yeah, I know. But they ought to get Mad Gasser Cheerleader of Calhoun County at Lulu.com by Carl Witzman, because it has look at that. Is that not a beautiful, attractive cover? And if you like it, you'll like the sequel.
Is.
It is, and it's done by one of my favorite people too.
And if you like it, then you have to get the follow-up, The Mad Gasser Cheerleader Returns.
That's right.
I just finished I just finally got around, because I had other things I had to read and things I had to do, and I got around to finishing it the other day. And Carl, it was too short.
Yeah.
It really, I wanted more, but it's kind of it's sort of it's an ending chapter to the story, but I was really, it's one of those where you get done and you're like, is there something I've missed here? Is there more? Because it was,
I want more.
quite involving, and a good continuation of the first story. So
It was excellent.
I got to go write a review too. I've been meaning to do it, but I've got other things to do first. So
There we go. And yeah, it was a great book. I did like it. And Carl, you've got enough room for about 50 sequels. And Carl is like saying the most vile things about me right now. So we got Ted Davies Artistry here. Hello to you, my friend. Evening. Hello, superheroes. Glad to have you here. Herman P. Hunter says, I started getting attention through YouTube live stream chats and Discords. Yeah, and there's more shows than just the ones I mentioned. So, but you can also do a newsletter.
Pop XP with Niall and Billy Tucci.
Right. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of places. Just follow us, follow Nick Tockert, and you'll probably hear about it eventually. Dawn says, I'm not a comic book person, but love the community, so I just hang around, support, share, cheer. There we go. And that's how you build your network there. And it really is a long-term investment. I go to lots of online shows and getting out there, like Brian just said. Yeah. And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I've been a quasi-serious author for 11 years now, and I'm only finally getting my feet under me. But part of that's me. So, it depends on how much oomph you give your own campaign. And everyone's going Ted and Dawn and Carl and seeing all kinds of names there.
Oh,
and,
my. Oh, my.
Yeah. And we haunt, and Donna. And we haunt these chat rooms like weird literary rates. He says, I think I was saying very cool about the QR code. Well, I knew it wouldn't be any of us. So, geez. And Matthew's, yeah. No, I hear the stones whizzing through my glass house when I say that. And if anyone want to know, I started my with Story Origin 2 months ago with 3 people on my mailing list. I now have 29 people on my mailing list and 9 people to give a review on my book. Excellent.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, well done. Now, here's the thing. Now, Matthew, I'm going to give you a little poke here. You've posted how many now? What book is this? Where can we find it? See? Hashtag always promote. And anyway, we're looking forward to that. And yay, a great review by Clyde. Now I can die happy. You killed Clyde! You killed Carl! And yes, that's right. Don't forget Tidbits and Scribbles. Every other Tuesday night on author Michaela Jade's channel. Now, it is mostly for books and prose, but a lot of the promotion that we do in books and prose, because that's my main jam. Comics is just a sideline with me. But a lot of the promotion things that we do for books basically applies to comics as well. So you can pick up a lot of good stuff from myself, Michaela, who is really nailing it right now. Also, Donna and Carl are on there, and Dan Holofield, who's been a sizable name in the science fiction field for over 25 years. I think he's got like Larry Niven's email address. Okay, let's put it that way. So anyway, check that out.
One episode I was on.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I think most of us have been on a number of these shows too, because we're promoting. So anyway, BKM, hey, that's me. When I sell the TV rights, they can do the lost years of the Mad Gasser cheerleader filled in. Hey, maybe I can get a licensing deal here. This will work. And Dawn says, check out Michaela Jade on YouTube. Definitely. And here is Michaela's for Tidbits and Writers. Yeah, check that out. And also check out some of the back episodes too, because there's lots of really, really good information I think you can use, Matthew. And there we go. And of course, Dawn has it too. And mocks Carl with her laughter. And Beacon, the hero of Heartland. Well, thank you. See, now there you go. And it comes out digitally and paperback on July 3rd. Excellent. And thank you for no problem, my man. That's what we're here for. All right. And keep coming back. And that's what we do here, Matthew. Donna's got that right. That's part of what the Rising Tide does around here. We promote people and we encourage people. But definitely tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central Time, check out Nicholas Tockert. And sometimes he will have guests on the show. And, just all you have to do is just reach out and say, hey, do you have room for somebody to be on your show? Check out the show to see if they do interviews first. Because some people, like I do kind of curated interviews now when I have my show, Clever Tile Penning, and it's occasionally on comics, but for the most part, we deal with prose. So, but I know Joe's had them in the past, and I've had them in the past. So just reach out if you find a show that you like and an interviewer you think would be sympathetic to your style. So just giving you all the stuff here. And also, and there is that address, our Linkmeister, Carl Witzman, that comes to the fore again. Yeah, get somebody like Carl on your team. That's what you need, Matthew. And drop those names. Oh, yeah. And link to Matthew's book above. Hey, I'm gonna drop a name here. Now, I haven't done my comp copy yet. But the latest issue of Back Issue magazine from Tomorrow's Publications, I found out I'm in it.
Okay.
Yay, me. Thank you. There was an interview with Stacey Haydock, who played Lana Lang on the Adventures of Superboy show.
Played her very well.
Oh, my God, yes. Oh, indeed she did. There is a hot dog eating scene in the pilot that still lives in my memory. I'll forget my name and be wetting myself, but I'll remember the hot dog. But anyway.
Eric turned red. I've never seen that color on Eric before.
It matches his hat. Matches my fez, now that I think of it. But no, there's a picture of me and Cookie at one of the past Superman celebrations with Stacey Haydock between us. And I told Cookie, you can kill me. You can kill me. because still major crush on that gal. And she will kill me, but she understands. So, actually, I had her sign a picture. It's that one that was on the issue of the first Superboy comic based on the show, where Gerard Christopher has Stacy in his arms. I got his autograph years ago, and then I got hers on it this time.
Nice.
So she was bad mouthing Gerard. It was fun. So anyway, look in the Stacy Haydock interview and pick up Back Issue magazine anyway. It's a fantastic book. So and so that's it. Now, Joe, did you want to talk about something here? I gave you kind of the bumps rush earlier. But,
no, I told you I have nothing.
I don't let that stop me.
But that's you.
Well, that's true. And now to prove it,
Standing ovation.
The master of the segue here, and I'm not talking about the walking vehicle here. But anyway, I did want to say something we skipped at the start of the show. This show is brought to you by Rising Tide Publications. Check out the second Tuesday of May. We are launching our first hardcover. It is the 10th anniversary celebration of Santastein. That's been out 10 years, actually this month. And we are celebrating with a brand new re-edited version of the story that's sold in 8 different nations and is being plagiarized in Russia and China right now. Arrived. It also contains the original stage play script that the book is based off of. So you may want to read that and see what parts made it into the book. And there's one major part that didn't. And you get to find out what it is. So anyway, that'll be out the second Tuesday in May. Please check Amazon and all your major bookmonger sources, and also keep track of it on risingtide.pub, which is my website. So, and we're also brought to you by Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Jeffrey Hayes can produce an incredible cover for you, as well as the social media graphics you'll need, and even book trailers like what you just saw. So check out the Plasma Fire Graphics page on Facebook, as well as the plasmafiregraphics.com pages, and ask Jeffrey about his indie creator-friendly pricing. You'll be glad you did. That's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. Now, as far as stuff this week, we got a few things. It was a pretty light week for me, and I don't get much anyway. 2 issues of Doctor Who Monthly, because they come over here when they feel like it. But one of these has, I think it's this. Yeah, it's this one. Has a comic story. They regularly have comics in here, but these are actually Russell T Davies approved episodes of the 14th Doctor, in advance of the 3 specials coming later this year. Drawn by Lee Sullivan and illustrated or written by Alan Barnes and drawn by Lee Sullivan, who did the last series of David Tennant comics in Doctor Who magazine. So it's really fun, a lot of fun. So if you're Whovian, you might want to check that out. And then we've got this. An ad for, it's basically a I would say called a 35-page ad for Wonder Woman, the new Shazam series coming up, but I haven't read it completely, so I don't know. And we've got Action Comics, Lois and Clark 2 backup by Dan Jurgens and Lee Weeks is worth the whole price of the magazine. The lead story's pretty good. Not a big fan of the Power Girls story in here, but the covers are getting better. I like this. I'm getting the Steve Beaches.
Why were her boobs covered?
Yeah. Yeah, she's got like this draping over. I mean, come on, what are we buying it for, right? Anyway, but anyway, it's not bad, and Superman's back on Earth, so I'm glad of that. And then, of course, we wrap up the current series of My Bad. And this is one of the funniest books out there. It's a great, great book written by Mark Russell, who's done some stuff for Marvel and DC. Not to be confused with the Mark Russell who just passed away at the age of 90, who did those wonderful PBS specials for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember those things from Buffalo, New York?
Yeah.
The one joke that resounded with me was he said that Buffalo has a snow removal plan. It's called May. But yeah, then beautiful art by Pete Krause in here. Definitely worth it. We see the next step in the evolution of Emperor King and the Chandelier in here. Definitely worth picking up. And then something I got showing Clyde, because I know he likes Carl Kolchak. I just picked that up this week. And we're going to be reading it pretty soon. Kolchak meets Nosferatu. So
it's the dad from A Christmas Story.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And Murphy Brown's father. Now, I do want to review one book here, and I want to give this one a -0. It's crap. It is total crap. It's this one here. And it's from DC. You'd think they know better, but there's hardly any comics inside. Look, it reads like a catalog. It's terrible. Oh my God! And what comics there aren't? If they have any comics in here at all, you're gonna go blind reading this stuff. Plus the spoilers. Oh my God! It's nothing but spoilers. It's terrible. I haven't seen any of these. It's like the last issue. I'm not gonna see them for another 3 months. And so screw that noise. So yeah, that's my review this week. Now I'm gonna get a whole bunch of people coming in here, and they're going, Brian, here's what that's about. It's a catalog.
It's a catalog.
It's a catalog.
No, they're probably going to be surprised you didn't give the catalog a 10.
I forgot. You're right. You're right. It has Superman. It's an 11.
Yeah.
So be sure to buy it, and be sure. And even when the guy is saying, "I don't want it's free. Don't give me any money," don't listen to him. It means it's a terrible comic shop. They don't know what they're talking about.
Why do they need a catalog when they have so many ads? In fact, this was the talk at the comic shop yesterday. We've talked about how many ads they stick into DC books and Marvel books, and the way they put them in just anywhere.
Yeah.
So the number, and also cutting off. There was one that was a splash page. It was double pages in the middle of the book, and they stuck an ad, like 2 pages of ads in between. So why do they need a catalog if they're going to do that? So
yeah, really, you're right, because that's all the DC and Marvel comics are. Because they, back in our day, Clyde and myself especially, you'd see ads for sea monkeys, forts. It's a sheet of plastic goes over like a card table.
Hatchet yourself dinosaurs. Yeah,
hatchet yourself dinosaurs. And Count Yorga, I can make you the deadliest man alive with Yubiwaza, and the hostess ad, snake or snack cake ads and everything. You got other companies paying to print your comics. That's what ads are about, and it's like the major companies. I don't know too many companies that do that anymore. And
they're all in-house. They're all in-house ads.
All in-house ads.
Yeah, and that's nuts. That's crazy.
Well, I know that Aftershock's not going to have any ads in it.
Well,
no.
You'd have to pay your people.
Yeah.
I was going to say if they do that, they just have to turn around and give it to their creators. And what fun is that?
No, here's Mad Cave. I don't know what would be in this one. Let me look at this one. It's too small to have anything other than themselves in there, I would think.
I would think. I don't know of any of the independents that use outside ads.
I don't think they have any ads.
But at least they put them, if they do have in-house ads, they put them in the back a lot of times. And,
like I do.
There
exactly.
You go. There you go.
This man's example.
Yeah.
For God's sakes.
Ooh. Check out Mad Cave. They don't put a single ad in here.
Oh, nice. Well, I don't remember what the name of the company was, but Chip Zdarsky's Secret Identity had no ads in there whatsoever. But it was I think a 24 or 28 page book from cover to cover, but there were no ads in there, so no interruptions.
Eric, what did you get from Mad Cave there?
Yeah,
that's that Show's End.
Okay.
It's like it looks like to be some kind of circus book. That's why I picked it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the title even got kind of like a circus font. Yeah. So it interested me. It didn't look bad in the inside either. So
they've
I
got
haven't
some.
read it yet. I'll probably read it this week and review it next week.
Very cool. Very cool.
They've been putting out some promotional books. I got one yesterday at the comic shop, and it made my top 5 of the week. They've got some really promising projects coming out.
Yeah. Cool. Carl Witzman says Joe is busy planning. And Carl says, BCam, I'll have to have that hardcover Santa sign. I should just add your name to my monthly budget. Appreciate it, Carl. Thank you very much. And oh my.
And ads would have helped gospel out, but there's not a single ad in this book either.
Nothing but ads, right?
If they had an ad, it'd be nice.
Yeah, really. Something you could read at least. And Monster Earth looks like my kind of book. And PBS Mark Russell passed away, said, yeah, he was funny as heck. He really was. He was kind of like the predecessor of people like Jon Stewart and Trevor Noah and John Oliver. Very hip, very into the news, but definitely not taking any prisoners with it either. I saw one eulogy for today, and he found a lot of things to talk about during the Clinton administration. And he was talking at one point about how things were going to hell with all the lawsuits and the scandals and everything. But President Clinton stands ready to defend the White House, and Bill's right by her side. Anyway, Joe, I almost forgot to pester. Well, keep going. And Grant Lanker does that too. Ads in the back. Yes, he does. Check out Beowulf, which I think is in its final days if it hasn't ended already on Kickstarter.
I'll say like 15 days left, maybe less. 12.
That sounds right. And
wait, I've got Kickstarter open right here. You keep talking, and I will tell you for sure.
There we go.
I got on board for. To catch up on Beowulf, to get all of it. I hadn't gotten any yet, so
they're good. They're really good,
and there was a great deal, to get them all. They're just they're the PDF format, but that's fine.
Yeah, it works for me.
10 days left.
Okay, 10 days. Thank you.
And he's still not funded yet. He's only at 79%.
Oh wow! Well, I better make sure I have him on my list then in 10 days, and he needs help. Yes, and he hasn't made his funding
just
either.
Under $700. He's has a goal of $3,000. He's at $2,385.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get him closer to his goal tonight, folks. Please check that out while you're listening to the rest of the show.
He's got over 100 backers though.
That's great.
That's good.
118. So yeah,
that's super. And gosh darn it, Carl, you're quick on the link finger tonight. You are, my man. You are. And I know, Dawn, I am on fire. Let's hope I can keep it up. We have faith in you, Carl. You are the man. And see, Carl is the one who gets us to not be any later than we are, because we start talking and having fun. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we have an audience, don't we? But see, I looked at the clock and we was like, oh, we better go on before Carl comes in here, before Daddy spanks us. Which
someone said, screw Carl, but I don't know who that was.
I have no idea who that might be. But no, it couldn't have been me, because now he has my book on his monthly list. But anyway, and about keeping it up, that's what she says. We are infants on this show. Anyway, to end Carl's on the warpath now. Don't make me come back there. Yeah, it's true. Carl has full authority over here. He actually has like super admin powers, rivaled only by my own. So
he'll come in and wake Brian up.
Don't make me wake up again, Grandpa.
Again. Yeah, again.
We love you, Carl.
So much to watch when I was driving home that night. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. It's hell to get old. But anyway, somebody who defies the laws of time and is the gold standard for this show, it can only be one person. The one, the only, the inimitable.
But Brian Rodman's not here tonight. What do you mean?
Good night, everyone. I don't know what I was talking about. Good night, everyone. And Brian, if you're watching, we love you, brother. Brian is he is out battling Ewoks. He found a new recipe for them, and he wants to try it out. So anyway,
Brian's not here. Huh.
Oh, I would do an imitation of him right now, but he would get mad at me. So anyway, he's gasping for breath and promising to kill Eric. Yeah, last week was my turn to make fun of him for that, so now it's Eric's. Anyway, here he is, Clyde Hall.
Hi.
Horrible.
Well, speaking of horrible, last week my comic book intake was really down. This week was it was a target-rich environment for doing a review, and I already had one pretty much done. So I have to save these for next week. But Mad Cave. Speaking of Mad Cave, we got this promotional #1 issue of Don't Spit in the Wind. I read the pitch for this, and it's another dystopian kind of the future that the Earth is just decimated, and it's very down. So I wasn't terribly interested, but the artwork and the artist and the writer, same person here, Stefano Cardicelli. I really did like the art. It's quite good, and even the approach is interesting. If you don't mind a end of time sort of a story, but you have an Earth that no longer can support human life, and so everybody lives in a kind of sounds almost like a Dyson's layer above the Earth in a satellite. But in the meantime, they have people that are in these big machines down here trying to clean up all the mess that's been left behind. It's sort of like if everybody had to wear a nebulizer suit to live on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it kind of reminded me of the of Brian Rodman's nebulizer. But everybody has the same problems because Earth is so tainted. But
Rodman's is funny.
So it's not. It's so. In other words, it's not just quite the Jetsons as of yet.
Oh no. Well, I mean, things may be nice up on the satellite where everybody's living, but down here, it could be better. Okay, it could be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got the guy walking past discarded bottles, like soft drink bottles and radioactive containers, radioactive labeled containers. It's just, it's a real mess. So
the coloring reminded me in the art a little bit of a Trench from Image. From way back. I don't even remember whose book that was.
Right.
But it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah. But I don't know. It was different.
Looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, like I said, Mad Cave has got some very interesting projects coming out, and that was different enough from most dystopian kind of futures that it made my cut. Also making my cut because it's sort of like a cross between King Shark and Grogu. It's Jeff. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Oh, this is Marvel, but apparently they had like a webtoon of this. With all the different heroes and Jeff being, interacting with all the.
He looks a little bit like Baby Shark.
Yeah. And this is written by Kelly Thompson, who I like. So it is just a fun little book. Each little vignette is a page to a couple pages long. And some of them are just funny, and some are silly, and some are poignant, which is, it's nice to have, kind of a little heartfelt message here and there every once in a while, but mostly it's funny. And he interacts with all kinds of different. Well, here's a good example. Here he is. It's like World Traveler Jeff. He's all over the place. He's got the Leaning Tower of Pizza and everything, and then you find out, apparently Katie Bishop is one of the people that kind of takes care of him. She finds out where he's got all the setup there, and he's had backdrops he's put up for making all the pictures and made a big mess. So he's a scallywag, but yeah, this is, I just on a whim, I thought I'd give it a try. He's the kind of guy that Captain America is having to throw trash cans for his shield because he can't find his regular shield in this wintry scene, and you find. Yeah, that's because Jeff's taking his shield and he's using it as a toboggan down the hill. So
it's cute.
It is cute. It is. It's very harmless. There's any age could enjoy it.
We need more like that.
That's what I thought. I didn't expect something like that from Marvel, but I sure did like it. It was nice. I did a review, one of the short reviews over at this week on the Wednesday edition of Things to Pick Up at Comics Beat. I did a mini review for Dynamite doing one of those one-shots again of a public domain superhero. In this case, Rocket Man and Rocket Girl. They do this every once in a while. And this one was, the story is excellent. It is a great encore for this. It is stuff that doesn't normally happen in the Golden Age.
I feel a butt coming on.
Well,
that's not code for anything, is it?
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. It has a great cover. It has a couple of different covers. This one really, really liked. It has good writing, good solid story, a story that goes places the Golden Age stories don't normally go, and not in a grown up kind of way. Just, it's like, yeah, they never faced that situation in the Golden Age very much. And then the artwork very much emulates the flat and stiff styles of a lot of the Golden Age artists. Justice, I love Justice Society more than anybody, but depending on who was doing each segment, you could get some really kind of very quickly, hastily drawn, flat, stiff figures sometimes. Not bad artists, just, they had to do this stuff fast and churn it out. So they kind of adapted that style. And that was very accurate, and yet, to me, it's just not great visuals. And, is it like the Golden Age? Yeah. But, Golden Age also gave us people like, Mac Raboy.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd like to see, I wish they could get a penciler for these projects that kind of channels somebody more like that, or Frazetta's work in comics, that can really do some strong pencil work. I mean, this is a great shot, but it's just, to me, very unexciting.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. Now, you guys are artists. You may have other ideas on it, and also the coloration is just very flat, very. For these kind of books, I would think you want as much color as you could get in it. Just
it's a little muddy.
It is very muddy. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just so the artwork, and again, I find that that accurately represents a lot of artists that were working fast and loose at the time, but
it's not a compliment.
But today you don't have to work fast and loose. They'll actually give you time to finish it. So why don't you, but yeah, I would like to see it done. In those 100-page super spectaculars that DC used to do, I was amazed at the level of artwork. Some people like Raboy, the Ms. Fury artist, Tarpe Mills.
Oh, yeah.
She was excellent too. So there are exceptions to those. Some of those quality characters, they had a whole stable of just excellent artists. Mm-hmm. Their characters weren't the biggest characters out there, Doll Man and the Human Bomb and stuff like that. But man, they were, and the Ray, remember the Ray's outfit, the Black Condor. But that talent pool, I wish they could get somebody that had that strong penciling skills to do these. The one shots are good. This story was excellent. I just wish I could have seen it with a little more pizzazz taken from the Golden Age rather than the kind of look to it. So, this from Image, The Ambassadors. That's a great read this week. So the lady there in the front, she's a doctor, a professor. The world superpowers have been trying to perfect a way to make metahumans, people with powers. And she ends up getting framed for experimentation that was kind of criminal human experimentation.
Yeah.
She got framed by her husband, who was actually doing the stuff, and got her put away because he was gonna break the metahuman code. Well, from her prison cell, she does it.
I like it.
And she puts out a thing going, hey, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to market it or anything. I'm going to give it away. All you have to do is send me a request, and the most altruistic people that I can find, I'm going to give them powers. and you see the governments and you see the corporate entities of the world are scared to death of that. And that whole concept, I love it. I don't think I could not buy the second issue of this when it comes out. It's that good. Speaking of really good stuff, by the way, Batman, happy birthday.
Oh,
This
right.
is the day when Detective Comics 27, I think,
Mhm.
came out. On this date, has a different month day for its actual publication because it always, the way that things were published tracks that way. But today was the day that the first Batman story appeared on the newsstand. So happy birthday, Batman. And to celebrate, Doom Patrol, the Unstoppable Doom Patrol. Okay, so this is a Doom Patrol that has all the history from Vertigo and everything else.
Yep.
And it does it well. But they have a new focus and a new mission, and that is to represent the underrepresented metahumans, especially the ones that have freakish powers and are outsiders, and to take them, to protect them, to help train them if they wish. So it's kind of an X-Men kind of thing back, an early X-Men version. But their first mission takes them to Gotham City. Now, as you'll notice on the cover, there is no Batman. There is no, in this issue, Batman. Nothing.
Then why buy it?
Because when he shows up, they go, thank you. This is not your case. Yeah, but it's my city. Not this time. You're not a metahuman. Go away.
Nice.
Well, he doesn't go away. But this is one of the few times, and they write it very well. They're not being disrespectful to him. They're just like, this is not your fight. This is our fight. This is what we do. And, but he is outvoted on the final, what they're going to do. It's like, we're going to do A, B, and C. Well, I'm not exactly on board with all this. I'm curious to see how it works out. I'll be watching, but I'll allow it. And they're like, it's not a request.
Nice.
Yeah. I just love how this came out. So, like I said, this was a really solid week. I had a lot of good stuff.
Outside of the artwork, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I can find a couple of. Okay. Yeah. Here's a nice panel. Artwork is excellent. The story just got me so much, but yeah, the artwork it definitely adds to it. It does not detract.
Beautiful.
To me, it's a more modern take on Doom Patrol because
Right.
it's not really like classic in any form or fashion. It's like modern day designs of all the characters and introducing a brand new character.
Yeah. With a great power. I love that. So good stuff. What I'm going to review, I'm going to do a rewind like we've been talking about this week because I was thinking about it, and then I tried to get a copy of this from my library and found that in our system, which is just south of Chicago and all the way down to Kentucky, without some of the St. Louis Metro stuff that's not part of ours, but in general, it's a huge area of Illinois. I found that they had apparently one copy. And it deserves better. Now, they may have some copies in university libraries and things that they don't lend out. They may have some in-house copies, but I had to wait a long time to get it. But it is from 2017, and it is called Mr. Higgins Comes Home.
Oh, I've been seeing ads for that. Yeah.
Well, and they had a sequel. And in fact, Brian Rodman and I were talking about it because it's a Mike Mignola written story. So of course Rodman is on top of it. But he's going to do one. He's going to do a follow up on the sequel to it. So, and I'm looking forward to that because I have not read the sequel. But I read this when it first came out, and it has aged like a fine wine, I think. So I'll show you a bit of the. I'll show you some of the artwork here, and the artwork. Warwick Johnson Cadwell. I don't know of anything else that he has done. Letters are by Clem Robbins. This came from Dark Horse, and the cover price is $14.99. Since it's been out a while, you could probably do better, and I'm sure it's on Hoopla. So, but the style
What's the name
is
of it again?
it is Mr. Higgins Comes Home.
Thank you. I will look it up while you're reviewing. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's okay. It is a if you've ever watched Roman Polanski's the Fearless Vampire Killers, this is kind of a take. It could be a sequel to it, actually, the way it's done up, because that's one of Minola's favorite movies. So he definitely wanted to homage it in this, and he does a great job. But the artwork is funny. It kind of has that Nosferatu look about the vampire shown in this part with the elongate, and also from Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula with the elongated arms and shadow like form. And let's see here, exploring the mad vampire's castle here. One of his brides. They're having a Devil's Night celebration at the vampire's lair. You get to see that as it would have looked in the 1800s. And we have somebody crashing the party. Somebody with a very wolfish appetite. And we have Eric. Look at this. Look at the sound effect words, the fonts. Yes, yes. The letterer does this light, and the lettering. I have a little thing about the lettering that I had not noticed the first time I read it, and when I read it again, I'm like, this is exceptional. So, Mr. Higgins Comes Home. It's a trade paperback, Dark Horse Comics, $14.99, written by Mike Mignola, art by Warwick Johnson Cadwell, and letters by Clem Robbins. I would rate this. It doesn't really have a rating, but I would rate it T for teen. While I write for various sites, this is my own independent feature, and it should not be considered representing any views of those sites. This gem of a TPB came out in 2017, and after rereading it, I find that it's aged into a crisper and even more satisfying read, given those years in between. The story begins with hapless vampire hunters Professor J.T. Meinhardt and his associate, Mr. Knox, experiencing kind of a Harry Dresden-level change of fortune. Rather than be dissuaded from their mission because of a setback, they ignore a more common-sense approach to doggedly pursue their heroic objective. They plan to strike against the undead Count and Countess Golga during a festival that brings their many converts together for one night a year. And even as circumstances stack against the heroes, they soldier on for one mighty strike against the forces of vampiric evil. Now, this is labeled as a horror story, but it is really a horror comedy. If you've ever watched The Fearless Vampire Killers, you know this is the same thing. It has some moments that's supposed to be horrific, but it's funny. Same here. The last part of their plan is to recruit a Mr. Higgins. He's a quiet man who has self-exiled himself in an abbey since his experience at Castle Golga as a young man. His guide services demand a hefty price, but our heroes are, if nothing else, singular in purpose. So Count Golga is a wonderfully oily antagonist, certain that 3 centuries of experience dealing with the forces of good will serve him once more in dealing with these interlopers. Part of the comedic element, however, comes from the arrival of an evil higher on the food chain than he is, and one not overly pleased with his disciple. There are a lot of humorous correlations that those intent on serving good may, in fact, aid or at least entertain a greater evil to fulfill their purpose. So Gorga's retinue, from the devoted countess to the loyal hunchback Hugo, to his faunching festival goers, are as comfortably portrayed as a supporting cast in any good B-movie monster fest of yesteryear. The Count bypasses chance and ill fortune by making the Professor, Knox, and Higgins his guests for this festival, and doing away with any pesky plans for preparations that they have labored at. And it's a shame that the seeds of his own ultimate undoing are sown beneath his aristocratic nose, even culminating in a fun and fulfilling revenge tale. So the good parts. Right from the dedication, Manola says that Mr. Higgins Comes Home is a fond nod to the Hammer horror movies of the 60s and 70s, when the cinematic biting of necks dropped to a more decolletage focus, and the violence level rose with a bloody Technicolor passion. We see that reflected in the panels. But more, his story homages that personal favorite vampire film of his, Roman Polanski's 1967, The Fearless Vampire Killers. And in his masterful way, he hits every note on his inspiration that would make the actors and the people behind the creative teams behind it proud. Mr. Higgins begins with cinematic flow, a startling event to launch us on our way, and then preparation, exposition, and some cordial enemy conflict. I love. They're very much gentlemen of the 1800s. You know, they may be foes, but they're going to treat each other with a certain degree of genteelness, which adds to the humor. But all that ends up with the climax, as ferocious as it is facetious. Manola provides distinctive voice to the small character cast, and his tale could really be a continuation of the Polanski storyline. The way he presents our vampire hunting protagonists as experienced and well-meaning saviors of humanity is handily undone as their mission spins quickly and humorously out of control. The way the narrator eludes, or the narrative rather, eludes all of the hero efforts in regaining control is funny, and that you have to laugh, but the same kind of laugh that you have when you're in a situation that goes from a little bit bad to unimaginably screwed. And you just can't do anything to stop it, despite your best efforts. In those moments, the horror elements do exceed the humor as we empathize with the Professor, Knox, and Higgins. But at the same time, we wonder how they're going to possibly succeed in their already ambitious quest, given that it's taken a turn for the hopeless. And this part of the storyline is my favorite Manola scripting. I have read a lot of Manola work, but this is right up there with my favorite stuff. It's better, I think, than any of the Hellboy that I've ever read. So Warwick Johnson Cadwell's artistic style fits the writing and the cinematic inspirations. His exaggerated and expressionistic lines evoke other horror films, from Nosferatu to Bram Stoker's Dracula. His edifices embody the earlier age of wood, stone, and handcrafted accessories. And he also peoples the world with 19th century humanity that suffers from poor nutrition and bad complexions and daily cardio that consisted of breaking labor, not working out. Lavish and lovingly rendered full-page bonus illustrations add to this charnel charm of this book. Clem Robbins, the letterer, he breaks down dialogue that sounds natural to the ear in the way he blocks it and balloons it. Now, this could be Manola's direction, but either he or Robbins won. If it's Robbins' initiative, either way, it makes the pauses and emphasis on the phrasing mimic the flow of a real 19th century conversation. So hats off. I had not noticed that when I've read it before, and it was really, really stood out. It's a great lettering job. And pacing, the way it's paced. The bad. Okay, this is a fast-paced story. It does not dawdle. For those who like blocks of exposition or a lot of background, you're going to have to catch it on the fly, because Manola very masterfully, he inserts it, but you got to be careful or you'll overlook it, because things are happening and they keep happening right to the end. So if you like fast-paced, great. If you want some background, you're going to have to catch it, little bits of it as it goes past you. And if you're not careful, you'll miss it. The comic book is officially labeled as a horror title on the cover. It's Dark Horse Horror. But I think it's misleading. Just like its inspiration, The Fearless Vampire Killers, the book is a horror comedy. So if you're looking for bloodlettings and forebodings, you're apt to find an empty coffin here. So horror comedy, not a horror story. The takeaway. As a horror comedy, Mr. Higgins Comes Home's trade paperback from 2017 delivers mirth with monsters masterfully, and It earns a 9 ghoulish guffaws out of 10 from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is praise indeed, sir.
I know.
Definitely, yeah. You know, the art reminded me of Gabriel Ba from Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had not thought about that. You're right.
Yeah. And I just looked, Clyde, and yes, that book is available on hoopla.com.
Cool.
And for those of you who do not know what it is, Hoopla is a service. It's a program you can download that every month will give you 30 checkouts. And it could be graphic novels, individual comic books, music, movies, TV episodes, even the master class. I am currently viewing the Neil Gaiman one.
Is it 30 per person?
Yes.
Is that the same in every library system?
As far as I know, yes. Now, the one difference is some items can be checked out longer than others. For instance, comic books is 21 days. The Neil Gaiman Masterclass is 3 days.
Okay. Well, I recommended it to my family, and they went and they were like cherry picking pieces. I'll look at this. Well, I don't want that. No, I'll look at this. And before long, it said, you've reached your limit for this month. So for those wanting to dive in, check and see. And I think they said there was like 10 that they had a chance at per person. So it may vary according to your library, but check and see. But realize that if you're going through and you're actually checking them out, that that goes on your list for the month, and you're limited to how many you can get. So
and you can always go back and look for them again. You can actually make them a favorite, and it makes it easier to find again. So, there's strategy to it. They might do it for new patrons, or it might be that some libraries pay for tiers of it. But I know that the one here in Lafayette, Indiana, I get 30 per month, and it's been that way since COVID. They raised it during COVID and just never went back. So who knows? But anyway, check it out. Hoopla.com, HOOPLA.com. And if you have a library card, it's free to use. So you can't get better than that. So anyway, thank you, Clyde.
Yes, you're welcome.
That was great. And we've got some more comments. We mentioned that Brian Rodman is here tonight, which I think most people have figured out by now. And yes, we noticed the absence of Luna's backside, that little puckered thing winking at us all the time. And some of the dystopian art reminded me of Ted Davies' new series. Yeah, if you haven't been seeing his latest art, man.
His little shorts have been rough. And I don't know, it's just in my head, but it reminds me of the old Monty Python art.
Oh,
yeah, it does. Yeah, the old Terry Gilliam stuff. Yeah, very cool. And OMG, Jeff is cute.
yeah.
And there we go. There is Dawn is putting something in for Doc Blaylock. Check that out because she says it's good. We agree with her. And Joe Bachman.
Yeah, Doc is good people.
That's what I hear. I think I've only brushed up against him. I don't really know him personally, but a lot of people vouch for him. That's good enough for me. And everyone's saying hello to Joe Bachman. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope all is well with you tonight. And so that concludes our reviews. Thank you, guys.
Night, folks.
No such luck. We have something to talk unless you need. Well, real quick, what are you drawing tonight, Eric?
Oh, tonight is our second annual Cute Off.
Okay.
So there is
what in the world is a Cute Off?
There's 2 young ladies that draw with us every week, and they're game developers. So they have a couple games on Steam, I believe. But they draw really super cute things every week, no matter the subject. They turn it into just cute little chibi-looking painted things. So last year, we did a Cute Off, see who could draw the cutest thing. So this year we're doing our second annual Cute Off. So we're just drawing the cutest possible, adorable, diabetes-inducing thing we can draw.
Who won the first one? Who won the first one?
Probably Amy. She's the one that does the cutest stuff. I can't remember. It had to be Amy.
Oh well. Well, good luck tonight, Eric.
Oh, well,
yeah. Tell everybody where you can be found.
On.
Okay, I'm holding on.
Don't mind me. I just categorized.
I have a piece of Amy's art here in
cool.
my book.
Well, that's right.
That one right there.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Aw.
Hit a little focus. There. That's a little better.
That's it. That's it.
She needs to draw Jeff.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously,
she just does really cute things, little chibi-like stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. And of course, folks, that's available in this book here from Stone Door Studios, The Zombieful World of Oz. I have the hardcover edition because, gosh darn it, I'm worth it. Anyway,
It's a great read from the forward on. It's just a great read.
It is. I'm particularly
Wait till you read issue 5.
Yeah.
Rodman. Wow.
I didn't think the fire could be that thorough, but anyway, but no, and there is a very excellent, if I may say so myself, story in the middle of it depicting Dorothy's stay in the sanitarium.
That would be right about. Oh, I just went right past.
Wait, you
My
talk
copy will
more
probably
about
fall-
that?
Yeah, my copy just automatically falls towards it. So
No, but I just saw some.
You actually talk more about that in this upcoming issue?
No.
no.
There's some cool stuff going to happen in this issue. I can't talk about unless you guys want those spoilers.
No. I don't.
No.
I don't want
No.
no
Not till we
spoilers.
go
I just want some expectation of what to look for.
We're going to have some new characters. Dorothy and friends have gone to the land of Ev at the request of Queen Langwidere because her land is infested with these zombies as well. And Queen Langwidere was in the Ozma actual book, and she collects heads, and she wears different heads on her body. So she wants Dorothy's head back more than likely. It's kind of a ploy to get her there, even though her little palace is surrounded by zombies. She doesn't give a damn. She just wants Dorothy's pretty little head to put on her head.
Is she secretly the Queen of Hearts from Wonderland?
No. No, the Queen of Hearts from Wonderland is a little more busty and chubbier. She's more of a full-bodied gal. I have drawn her, but you gotta wait 2 more issues of Zombieful Adventures to see her.
Well worth waiting for. And yes, Donna, cute zombies. And Carl says, yes, good luck, Eric. And Lissy says, Dad, draw Reese. She's cute and fluffy.
We had a Cthulhu something weird night a while back, and I did a Cthulhu bunny. It was cute.
It was cute, yeah. And adorable, just like Eric. Anyway.
Cuddly tentacled bunny.
Yes. Adorable terror and madness from beneath the waves. So anyway, well, we sometimes take a subject and something hit us this week. Actually, it hit me because anymore, it's like I've told the guys, I'm more into the business behind comics now. We can argue who would win in a fight, Aunt May versus Dumb Bunny or whatever.
Aunt May,
she got the advantage. She knows more tactics. She fights dirty, I'm sure.
She was a Hero Galactus at one time, if you believe
exactly.
That.
Yeah. Assistant Editors Month.
And she's Marissa Tomei, so she's hot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Aunt May's getting hotter with all the movies. One of these days, she's going to be like some girl group is going to get pegged to be Aunt May, and somehow Aunt May will be younger than Peter Parker.
Lady Gaga is Aunt May.
Oh my God, I would pay to see that. She's going to be Harley Quinn.
I know.
Have you seen the pictures of her yet?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm a Lady Gaga fan. I like her a lot. But anyway, something I think I'm the one that found it. But anyway, it's there's been a shakeup at Marvel Comics, and like I said, I'm more into the business aspect of comics these days than a lot of what goes on between the covers, so to speak. And it's about Ike Perlmutter. Let's see if I can get a pronunciation. It's in Hebrew, so of course I don't. Anyway, Ike
wasn't there a Ron Perlman there as well?
That was back in '96.
Which I always thought it was maybe the actor.
I did too at first. I did too. But he was one of the people, excuse me, with Avi Arad, who through Toy Biz, helped Marvel through their bankruptcy in the mid 90s. And Isaac stayed on at Marvel. The thing is, he doesn't serve on the board of directors or anything, but he's in charge of the people in charge of Marvel. And he is noted for his almost draconian ways to save money, such as telling all the Marvel creative editorial people, go through your trash at night and pull out all the usable paper clips. We're going to reuse them.
Which he was doing himself, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was reading up on the guy. I did like a little rabbit hole dive this afternoon on this. And there's articles in Variety.com, also BleedingCool.com, and, of course, The Beat.
Go to Comics Beat. They had two good coverages.
Excellent coverage. And actually, the Bleeding Cool was quite good, too. But basically... Marvel is owned by the Disney Corporation, and it seems that you have the recently reinstalled Bob Iger, who's trying to save money at Disney, versus Ike Perlmutter, who and of course Iger found the best way to do it: fire this guy. So he rendered the company or the division that Perlmutter was in charge of redundant. And so they got rid of him that way, along with some other people. They're looking to downgrade by about 4%, but that's still, given Disney's scope, that's still 7,000 people out of work. Okay, and we feel bad for them. But this guy is like a multi-millionaire, but he's also got a problematic past, as he was kind of like an unofficial head of the VA administration during President Trump's administration, and he has also been accused of various sexist and racist acts while at Marvel, which is not for me to judge. But anyway, he's been a controversial figure who I just also found out he's never given an interview.
He disappeared from public view for about 20 years.
Yeah, and people weren't even sure he was alive till he like popped up, with the Marvel thing. But he's also owned formerly owned like I think it was Revlon, also Remington. He's done a lot of like smaller companies, but he did, like I said, he was one of the people that helped Marvel once they declared bankruptcy in the 90s. So good for him. But over the years, he's been losing power at Marvel. And this way, Disney can take over Marvel and bring it more into the Disney fold like they did Lucasfilms. So anyway, the question is, what can we expect to see from Marvel at this point?
So he was integral in the selling of Marvel to Disney as well.
Right. And
I would wager money, because they won't say this, and it's probably not a lot of public knowledge, or they might not be able to say that. When he sold Marvel, he probably had a contract with Disney for so many amount of years before they could get rid of him, which happens a lot because where I work, we bought quite a few corporations that we always keep the heads on for so many years, and most of the time they don't do much anyway. But I would bet that's probably what happened to him. His contract was up, and they found this is the best way to get rid of him.
Well, actually, Heidi McDonald had a really good, in that follow-up interview on Comics Beat. Yeah. She had some insights, and she kind of knows some people, so I kind of think she may know where she's coming from. That Perlmutter and Iger did not get along.
Oh, no.
And Perlmutter he actively campaigned against Feige and some of the decisions made, and came out into like kind of a Game of Thrones thing where he put on the, hey, I'm the guy that's been here since '96, and I think you need to get rid of him. And he lost. Yeah. Now, because when people do the things you're talking about, Eric, they often say, this fellow is going to take time off because he's 80 years old. He wants to be with his family. He wants more time with the family. They do something nice. Yeah, they didn't get that. Yeah, but they didn't get that. He's laid off, and which is ironic because he's laid so many other people off.
Yeah.
So it was not a very nice. It's sort of like, what did she say? He kind of played the game of F around and find out, and he did. And
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
So
they
he's
said
trying to
that,
force people onto the board, and
yep,
Yeah.
try to do a takeover. And
Yeah.
Iger, they said, Iger is very personable. He gets along with a lot of creative folks. But he's also, once you mess with him like that, he will Game of Thrones you. And he did. He just, so that's
they
what
brought
her
him back
take
for a
was.
reason.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what her take was on it.
Yeah, that was a good one. And you brought up the thing about let go, that there is. I think it was Heidi that said it, or it might have been Rich Johnson on Bleeding Cool. But one of them brought up that in mentioning it to the media, and this has gotten quite a bit of coverage in other media, that he wasn't. Basically they use the term laid off, which in some circles has a negative connotation. Even probably worse than being fired, for instance. You can get a certain level of dignity with that, but they deliberately used denigrating language to get to send the guy off. And like you said, you made a good point, Clyde, about the fact that Iger gets along with Kevin Feige, and Feige is being positioned to not only take the Marvel Studios up to another level, but also to build the TV thing, and also to have it more integrate with the mainstream Marvel comics, which I think is long overdue. And also Dan Buckley, who is the president of Marvel Comics, also gets along with Iger. But
now,
Ike, on the other hand,
yeah, something else that people were laying at his feet, and I don't know, because Fox had the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four, he insisted that those be very diminished. He didn't want to. Basically, I think he was, maybe in his mind, it was like, if we dim the lights on those, maybe we can get the rights back.
That's
so
also limited toys for those lines as well.
Yes.
Even remove them from official posters.
Yeah.
But he's the one that sold them, so the rights to keep Marvel from going bankrupt.
Right.
But when he saw them, the successful movies, like, well,
Toy
Biz ain't gonna make no toys for you.
But and then he wanted to punch up what they did own, like the Inhumans. So, and there's like, we're going to make the Inhumans TV show, and I'll be calling the shots on it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we saw how that worked out. I don't need Kevin Feige. I can just do this. No, you can't.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was cheap. It was done on the cheap.
Yep. Yeah. Very much.
Special effects. I saw a little bit of it, but the special effects were not great. I mean, they had a terrific cast.
They did,
but they didn't spend all the money. You got to spend money to make money, especially in film and TV. I mean, you look at something like WandaVision, where it looked like that thing looked like Kevin. What I've seen of it, it looked like Kevin Feige just handed over a blank check and said, "Just put in the zeros and tell me later what you spent."
Yeah.
And it showed. Every penny of it showed on the screen.
One thing, devil's advocate though. We talk about '96. He came on with he and Avi Arvid. I think.
Yeah, Avi Arvid. Yeah.
They managed to leverage out, because if the other two, and who were they? Carl Icahn,
yeah,
and Ronald Perlman. They were some of the reasons that the bottom fell out of everything, because they were known to go in, especially Perlman, I think, was known to go in and like gut the company for its parts.
Yes.
So they were looking to license out characters, like what they did with Fox would have been nothing compared to how'd you like to have DC throwing out all the big names, including Spider-Man and Captain America, and they were going to parcel it out. But in the bankruptcy suit, Perlmutter managed to help Arvid get the rights. So in some ways, the reason that you have a Marvel brand is him.
Yeah.
So, it's devil's advocate. That's much better to me than having a great big DC and just kind of a little middling Marvel, or maybe Marvel completely out of business by now. So,
Well, one of the articles, I think it was Heidi again. Congratulations. Heidi is a superb journalist. She really is. She mentioned that in the last 10 years, Marvel's been doing a little bit of licensing. of some of their characters, like IDW, I believe it is. I think Boom,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
children's line of books. Plus, they're not really producing a lot of their current books right now, but they're going to places like Hachette and Penguin and licensing it to them.
Right.
To do. And Matthew, you got a good question. We'll cover that later. And we'll say hello to Michaela J. Mwah. How you doing, Michaela? Good to see you as always, hon.
But that also came in the tail end of Avi Aaron. So, I mean, IDW had what Marvel Avengers, I believe, in the early 2000s, if I'm correct. And that was the children's title that IDW ran. And after that, they actually produced some actual low-key Spider-Man titles.
Yeah. They didn't make a whole lot of hoopla about them. They probably should, but And I know that in the past, if you read some books like Men of Mystery and such like that, there have been various times in history where Marvel and DC have called each other and say, hey, would you like to license our characters from us? Because they're in financial straits. But, and there was a rumor, I remember, during the latter part of the New 52 for DC, where they were saying that DC could license out their characters, especially like around the time of the lockdowns in 2020, when nobody knew what was going on in the direct market. And the word was going out that DC should look into, with their editorial shakeups, look into licensing their characters, which is, not a horrible idea. But what I'm also reading about, going back to the current situation with Ike out of there, not much is apparently going to change, it sounds like.
That was part of the thing, because I had friends who were asking me, is this going to... I don't like the idea of my Marvel Comics being folded in and redundant, but I think it was Heidi again that said that to get rid of Ike, because of what Eric's talking about, of like, well, you have to be here for so long, or we've got a contract with you. Yeah. To get rid of him, they had to get rid of his position.
Which was very clever, very clever.
Very clever. But they didn't think it would make the guy that's in charge of Marvel, editor-wise, he and Feige get along well. He and Iger get along well.
Dan Buckley.
So, a lot of the insiders at Marvel were going, this is really a positive thing for the Marvel Comics brand, even though it doesn't sound that way. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, and I think they've also mentioned that if anything, editorial may expand. Because I know DC went through a shakeup recently too of their, like their sales department or something, that they have already gutted the editorial department. Now they've cut it back to the point where both Marvel and DC are saying, we need to hire more people back on. That we cut too many people maybe for our future plans to reach fruition. So, Carl says, lots of behind the scenes drama and shenanigans going on. And this is just the stuff we know about.
Yeah.
Lord only knows what cutthroat things are happening outside of our view. So, but I kind of agree that that it may not change things of how Marvel runs itself. I think Kevin Feige might take a stronger position now that he has less competition, and I can see every Marvel editor who worked under Ike buying like a case of paper clips and just pouring them directly into the trash. Just kind of like an FU to him. So
he would let them have one pot of coffee a day.
Yeah,
in the office. And they had like 2 bathrooms for 100 employees. They had
I was going to mention that.
2 bathrooms, one of each gender, but for over 100 employees. And they, for a while there, Disney put up cameras to record you while you're working to make sure you're not goofing off.
He put in over 30 cameras, and Disney
did he?
pulled.
Yeah,
okay.
Disney pulled them, yeah. Because like, what are you doing?
I think he was Chuck Berry in those cameras.
Look at her edit that book. Oh yeah. And of course, yeah. So that's the latest drama going on. And like I said, I personally don't think it's going to affect the companies very much.
We won't know for a few months probably.
Oh, probably not. I'd say probably a year from now things might look a little bit different, but that I think again, if Kevin Feige has less competition,
I'll keep
or
my
somebody
opinion
just
to
telling
myself.
him no. Sorry, Joe.
I said I keep my opinion to myself.
That's why we have you on here, Joe, to give your opinion.
I think it speeds things up a hell of a lot.
Okay, meaning
reason being is because technically Marvel matches up well to the Disney outlook of how they run business and how they want everything self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
And people like I can't even pronounce his last name correctly, but people like Ike slows that stuff down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because again, there's so much of a penny pincher that they don't see the bigger picture about being, fully self-contained, that your own IPs generate the flow of revenue, which means that the comic book over here brings in so much revenue. The movie over there of the same IP brings everything back to that IP.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't completely understand that. He's looking at that from the dollars and cents aspect of it. And that was the only way that they could get rid of him, by legal means, if I could say it in those terms. Yeah. With him gone, now that aspect of everything becoming more self-contained, it may free up Feige to do a lot more stuff, but it allows Feige and everybody else to operate more in that truer Disney/Marvel aspect of each IP being its own entity.
Right. That's an excellent point. Now, see, I'm glad you shared that, because one of the articles I read mentioned that Disney is right now in the mode of legacy.
Mm-hmm.
They're honoring like the old animators that passed through. They are honoring older characters, and Marvel is an 80-plus-year-old company with all kinds of characters that are recognizable in the public eye. That this is their jam. This is what they do. So, we won't get any more of like, well, I can't get the rights back to the X-Men, so I'm going to cancel 3/4 of the line, even though they're selling. That's cutting your nose off to spite your face. That made no sense. That made minimal sense to me. You could see the logic. There's that kind of old argument about I am Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that. So it's like, no, that's not what you do. So anyway, if anyone has an opinion on it, we've got a few minutes left. Please voice it. All right. And if you're watching on the rerun, put it down below and we will respond to you if we can. And yes, Michaela, you didn't know if it's been a whirlwind. It is always a whirlwind. And Carl says, yeah, you made it somewhere safely, because she is traveling to a show with her girls. Girls and I made it to Lancaster, just outside Columbus. Tomorrow's plan is to visit the zoo. I hear it's really cool. So yeah. And we're all glad that you're traveling safely. And everyone's saying hello. And there's Teresa Dunn. Sorry, all I'm late. I had an obstacle to deal with, but I'll be moving into her new apartment tomorrow. Yay, Teresa! Yay, you! Yay! All right, that's what we like. We like to hear that good news. And Carl says you can't be creating and growing if you're digging paper clips out of the trash. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And congratulations on the new apartment from Donna. And everybody's going, yay, Teresa! Yay, Teresa! Good for you, girl. All right, coolness. So, did anybody have anything else they wanted to bring up tonight? 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was easy. Anyway, so I tell you what, since my goal is to get out of here in 2 hours, we're going to do it tonight, yay. And I'm not going to have anyone stop me. Anyway, why don't we go around the room and tell everybody how they can find us and what we're doing this weekend, because I know at least 3 of us have someplace to be. And as far as I know, Clyde may have someplace to be. He's appearing too.
I got nowhere to be this weekend.
I thought Clyde was going somewhere. Eric wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm going anywhere.
Saluki's April 21st.
Oh, 21st. Okay, I will be in Wendy's. I knew I had a conflict because I will be at Saluki this year.
Because you're at
SI Comic-Con is
SI Comic-Con this weekend. Yeah. Yes, I will be doing that. So, Dawn, thank you for reminding me, Dawn. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Dawn. That's why we love you here. One of
the
many
best
reasons we love you
in the world.
Yeah, because the host is a boob. Anyway, Matthew Krieg had a very good question here. How many pages will a comic with roughly 19,000 word script have? Okay, I know what the answer is. What do you guys say?
I got no idea. 19,000 words?
Yeah.
That really depends with a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much of it is just descriptive? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I can do it in 10 pages. Joe, how many can you do? I could draw that comic in 10 pages.
Oh, we're gonna go that route? Well, Eric, I could do that comic in 4 pages.
Ooh. I feel like Ron Ely.
I could do it in 3 pages.
Draw that comic.
Draw that comic
right now. No. The answer is, Matthew. That's not the question to ask. Eric made a good point that how much is description? If you're describing it like Alan Moore does down to the last molecule, then that's probably about
a page.
That's about a page and a half for Alan. If it's me, Eric will tell you that's 2 pages because I'm only slightly less wordy than he is. But but no, the answer is that it is not necessarily the word count on that. That's more for prose than anything. But a comic script will be the length that a comic script needs to be. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
I was about to get ready to break it down a little bit differently.
Please do.
With comic scripts, you have to think about 3 different things. You have to think about direction, which means, the angle and position of where the reader is going to look, the actual description of the scene, and the dialogue.
Mm-hmm. And sound, which includes sound effects and captions.
Right, exactly. So when you look at it in that aspect, you always have to look at it as like, okay, it's like he put 19,000 words. So you like 19,000 words divided by 3. Then you have to look at, well, how descriptive are you?
Mm-hmm.
What type of direction are you giving the artist to do the scene? And then how long is your dialogue? Are you overly, monologuing, or are you just short to the point and saying, take this?
How dare you speak of Mr. Rodman that way? We love you, Brian.
With that, but that's the way I look at it. It's like 19,000 words. Like I said, like we were saying, it's like it could be 1 page or it could be 30 pages. It really depends on how those 3 things are broken down.
Yeah, and in most books that I'm associated with in prose, that's approximately 30 printed pages in most average sizes of books that I see in my market. And then you break that down, the comic script has a lot of white space in it, because less is more. And like, for instance, I will send, despite his kvetching about it, I will send Eric a script with fewer descriptions because I know what he can do. And when I know what the artist, speaking as a writer, when I know what the artist can do, I play to that artist's strengths and maybe don't describe the scene as detailed as I would if I didn't know who was drawing. Because I have had some scripts where I didn't tell them, I should have given them more information to get what I wanted. And I would rather give too much, but have the artist come back and say, I've got a better way of doing it than the other way around it.
That comes back to the reason why I don't like this newer Marvel method. I hate it.
The plot first kind of thing?
Well, pretty much the way that the newer Marvel method is, it's like instead of dividing in 3, it's divided into 2. So you give like an artist pretty much kind of almost like a prose, like what's on each page. You just describe all the action that happens on that page.
Right.
And then on the second part is the dialogue per page. And a lot of times the artist does not see the dialogue.
Yeah.
So they will have one idea in their mind and they will go ahead and draw it. And a lot of times they are blinded to the dialogue.
Yeah.
And because they're blind to the dialogue, it makes the writer and the letterer do triple and quadruple time just to try to fix things to make everything work.
No, I wasn't aware they were doing that. That sounds horrible. That sounds like the old
but
British
a lot of
TV
artists
scripts.
love it. A lot of artists love it because it gives them freedom. It gives them freedom of expression and everything. But to me, it's like it's nightmare writing wise.
Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah, I could see if you trusted your artist, that would be one thing. You know, because like I said, you know, there's, you know, like I say with Eric and I work very well together, and you know, I could give him less description. I would trust him with that sort of script. But if I didn't know, you know, I've had artists who would run their, you know, they are from overseas. They do not speak English as their first language or even their 20th. And because I had a couple scripts when I worked for one publisher, the people overseas, rather than asking for some sort of translation, they got a translation through Google Translate. You know, and yeah, and no, that just does not work. So anyway, and Carl makes a good point here, and also Carl and Donna, thank you for being here. They've moved on to Stupid O'Clock. Check out Joe D. McFee's, or excuse me, Joe Dog. McKeel's chat. See, I'm doing it again. I used to do
other
it.
Dude.
Yeah, just keep doing a Google search. Anyway, but anyway, isn't a comic more like a screenplay than a novel? More times than not, yes, you are right. That there is a description of the action. Like the way I divide my scripts up is description of the action, then all of the lettering. And, you know, I keep it in a place like that, you know, so that the artist and the letterer always know where to look and they don't miss stuff. So, and Carl apparently has filled his card. Bingo! I've screwed that up. So,
definitely. Did you hear my dogs barking?
No. Are we supposed to?
No, he won bingo. I said, did he hear my dogs barking?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be. But see, Joe and Mike Jimmy used Donna's translator for Cora's 24-hour comic book. Oh dear God. I'm terrified to find that out. But anyway, but yeah, Carl's right. Most scripts, if it's done writer first, are basically they look more like screenplays, but instead of a constant flow of three-dimensional movement, it's basically snapshots that tell the story in brief. So it is an art form unto itself. And I've said for years, since I write both prose and comic books, comics are harder to write for that very reason, because there are also intrinsic rules in it. Like if you have a 6-panel grid, you shouldn't have any more than 35 words per panel, according to Mort Weisinger back in the 60s. And, you know, people like Alan Moore follow
that rule?
Let's see, where's Eric's mute button? I do with other artists. Anyway, I figure you'll make it work. Anyway, for the amount I'm paying you, Eric.
I violate that rule so much, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I violate that rule so much, it's ridiculous.
But 19,000 words for a comic script, that would be more in line with a graphic novel.
I was going to say that's a TPB length. Yeah. I would think, but
yeah. And again, it depends on the script. I found years ago, and somebody had actually found a copy of it. Gardner Fox, the great Gardner Fox, who created the Flash, the Justice Society, Justice League, a whole bunch of great characters, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He used to work for a company, I think it was Avon. And he did a Barbarian strip like Crom the Barbarian or something. He turned in a 10-page comic script on one sheet of typing paper. And it was all there. You know, and I'm like, wow, that's talent. That is huge talent. But yeah, that's so yeah, I would say, Matthew, you know, just ignore the word count on that and just, you know, whatever it takes to tell that story as economically as possible is probably the key. So, but anyway, that was a good question. Thank you for asking that. And with that, I think we can wrap this up now. Unless I've forgotten something else, guys, please tell me you've got a minute to tell me I forgot something. But anyway, let's go around the room. We'll start with Joe, then Eric, then Clyde, then I'll finish it off. And let's tell everybody what you're up to, where you're going to be, and how people can keep up with you, Joe.
Well, right now I'm up here trying not to fall asleep on you guys because I am tired. But tomorrow I'll be at C2E2, be day one. Don't forget about our giveaway. And like I said, I'm still debating about this one here.
Do it.
I'm probably going to end up taking it with me tomorrow.
Do it.
But
Don't do it.
Rick Jones would do it.
No, the thing about it is like I got another one, so it's not like it's going to hurt me collection wise. It's the extra one, just like I have I'm sitting up here with cataloging some new stuff that came in, so I have it now here on the handy dandy little phone.
Ooh.
That's what the power of CLZ. But because a certain person want to get out here on the 2-hour mark, you can catch me. You can catch me tomorrow at C2E2. Saturday, if I do make it back on time, there will be a from the Desolate Small Press Publisher. We will be doing the midway report for C2E2, and after that, pretty much you can catch me anytime on YouTube or my YouTube channel. Catch me here next week on Comic Book Spectrum, and if you need to view my links in the company page here, you can always go out to Linktree, and you can always get it at linktr.ee/SIL V as in Victor, B as in Baker, OLT, and it will bring up everything about me and where you could access links from everything from LinkedIn, Facebook, DeviantArt, everything's there.
All right.
And now for Eric Hawkins.
Thank you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Eric?
I am Eric Hawkins, creator of Design for the World of Oz, and we are launching issue 5 on April 21st. It's a Friday. I haven't set a time yet, though. I think last time I did 9 a.m. I've taken the day off work, but I don't know if I'll get up that early. Maybe 11. I don't know. I'll pick a time. Well, I got weeks to go. Then that same weekend, I'll be at SalukiCon in Carbondale. Come out and see me. Buy some art from me. Have me draw you something. Buy my comics. Give me some money. Other than that, you can follow all my links right there, which also has a link to my newest crowdfunding campaign pre-launch page.
And those dressed as Mandalorians or Moon Knight get 10% off, right?
Yes, I will do that. Or better, if you come dressed as one of my characters, I'll draw you something for free.
Woo!
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm coming as Dorothy in the bathtub.
I'll tell you what, I actually do have almost everything to complete the Scarecrow's costume.
Ah.
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
With the exception of the mask, which is easy enough. I got one in my cart on Amazon, just never bought it. And I need to 3D print the gauntlets he wears.
Maybe I could come as a railroad passenger.
Oh, there you go.
I could come as a zombie ticket taker.
Yeah, conductor. Zombie conductor.
You better wear the right outfit, Brian.
I'll be getting it right now.
That's it. Join us here every week. And if you like watching people draw, join me after this at 9 o'clock on Chester Busby's channel, 9 p.m. Central, the real time. Thank you.
You mean 10 o'clock. Anyway, for those of us in Indiana. Anyway, I'm Brian K. Morris, award-winning author, freelance editor, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. And we hope you've enjoyed the show. And please join us here next week. If you want to keep up on my stuff, I'm at risingtide.pub. And that has links to all my broadcasting, all my books that we have on Amazon. And we are working on, for a release on the second Tuesday of May, we are going to release Santa Stein, the hardcover. It's a re-edited version. This time we did it right. And we're also, thank you. We were young and foolish. We didn't know what we were doing. But now we're old and foolish and don't know what we're doing. But also we're including, to celebrate the 10th anniversary of my best-selling book, we are going to include the original stage play script, the many times rejected script. that inspired the rest of the book, and we're really excited about that. Plus, we have another book coming out later this year called The Terrors, and it's a pulp comic book kind of adventure that I think you're really going to like. We've been working hard on it. Plus, I'm working on Sherlock Holmes story for Vella, a Kindle program where you basically it's a multi-part. You could read the first 3 chapters for free, and then you buy tokens that allow you to read the subsequent chapters. And I'll be putting something on there pretty soon. And I've got all kinds of work. I'm behind in everything. But also, if you go to risingtide.pub, you can sign up for my free monthly insider information email letter. And the next issue will be going out April 1st. It won't be a joke, though. We got all kinds of cool things in there, including special videos, tips on what to do, what to bring to a convention if you're a vendor, and all kinds of cool things that we think you ought to know. And links.
Pee bottles.
Pee bottles is very important because I've got a van without a toilet in it. So yes, that is very important. So anyway, please check all that out. And we want to thank the people who brought you the show. We meant to mention them earlier, our Patreon supporters. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly with a modest financial stipend. And Eric has one. Brian Rodman has one. Joe, you don't have one, do you?
Nope, I don't know how to. I don't really know what to offer for mine, so that's the reason.
Yeah, that's my problem. I just threw up art.
Well, it's funny because I don't draw, but I have a twice weekly blog, which the one that printed this morning, we have left open as a sample for people who do not subscribe to my Patreon yet.
Nobody wants to read my thoughts on anything.
I would pay to do it. In fact, I do. I'm one of your subscribers. But anyway, please check it out. For $1 a month, you get to read a twice weekly blog. For $5 a month, you'll get to read all kinds of stuff from me, including currently my first draft flash novel, which is a sequel to my 2015 book, Volcana. And that's been coming out pretty well. We hope you will join us there. But anyway, please check us out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And we are also brought to you by Rising Tide.
Before you say that,
yes,
I don't want you to have another faux pas here. Don't forget about Clyde.
Now, Clyde, you don't have one, do you?
What?
No, Clyde. Clyde hasn't did his salutations to end the show.
Clyde hasn't?
No, Clyde hasn't.
Clyde,
you skipped Clyde. Yeah, you skipped Clyde.
I'm leading up to him. That's it.
Man, it's just like my other show I do after this. They always forget me. The host always.
Do you hear anything, guys? I don't. Anyway.
Get over here.
Clyde, I apologize. Clyde, I'll tell you what. I am done. We'll let Clyde finish out the show.
No. Why don't you run your ad for?
I will run my ad, and you now tell everyone who it's about.
Oh, okay. Well, if you like covers that sell your books, Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics is that artist. In fact, he's up for a Pulp Factory Award for this very book. Yes, Tim Bruckner's Major Marjorie from Stonegate Press. Or Stonegate. Oh no, they're going to fire me. From Stormgate Press. Stonegate is Eric's. Stormgate is ours. But
Stone Door Studio.
Stone Door. I'm sorry. See, this is why you skipped me. I can't close it out. So
tell them who you are, Clyde.
But I am in Stormgate Press and Pulp Reality 1, 2, 3, and 4. Major Marjorie. Also the Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkins, and this is another artwork by Jeffrey Hayes, Plasma Fire Graphics. When the look of your book matters to you, because it certainly matters to your readers. You can find me on Facebook under Clyde Hall. You can find me under artist or author Clyde Hall, and also over at Twitter. You can find me there as CJ Hall 1984. I write comic reviews just about weekly for Comics Beat, and you can find me here on Thursday nights most of the time for Comic Book Spectrum.
All right. Thank you very much, Clyde. I apologize.
That's okay.
And we would have finished if it weren't for you meddling kids. Anyway, here we go. Herman P. Hutter, and we're glad you're here, Herman. Hope you make us a habit. I throw art, Eric Hawkins. Yeah, there we go. I throw up. Yeah. And actually, he's always forgotten on, okay, has he now?
Ah.
Okay, I don't feel so bad now. I'm just following a trend. But anyway, the person you saw earlier was my evil twin. No, wait, I'm the evil twin. Anyway, no, and it's I'm an editor at Stone Door Studios, and I'm also a contributor at Stormgate Press because I look at the things before I say things usually. And anyway, we do all that, and we're also big fans of Jeffrey Hayes because he draws real good stuff, including the cover to my upcoming Terrors, and you'll see a sample of it in the following ad, Plasma Fire Graphics, and the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design.
That was nice.
Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Check out their Facebook page and definitely check out Plasma Fire Graphics and ask.com and ask Jeffrey about his indie creator-friendly pricing. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to get a great cover as a result, and the graphics you'll need to sell it. That's plasmafiregraphics.com when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And with that, I'm getting out of here before I hit the wrong button and missiles rain down on Denmark. So we will be back here next week at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. the correct time according to Eric. And we'll have more comics and more fall to roll and all kinds of fun. And thank you for joining us. Please leave a comment. And if you've enjoyed any part of this, even for a second, mind you, please give us a like on Facebook or on YouTube. And on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already. We got all kinds of cool things coming up, including the return of comic books. No, not comics. Clever Title Pending. I gotta get shows that start with different letters. Clever Title Pending, and our brand new show, No Warning, where we don't give you any warning when we're showing up. So please check us out. And as always, I'm Brian K. Morris, and we thank you for being here. And as usual, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great weekend, because I'll be at the SI Comic Con in Benton, Illinois, at the Benton Civic Center, 414 Huddleston, this coming Saturday from 10 to 5 with early bird at 9. Come see us. We got new books that you have not seen yet. And take care, everyone. Bye-bye.